Voice inside my head. Oh, we're starting.
I'm just hitting the record button. Listen, everybody listening, welcome to Podcast The Motion Picture. I'm Reed. We got Jack. We got
Oh,
Noah.
come on, you gotta redo that. I was making faces.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to who is that? Who needs to come down those stairs? Okay.
Are we going without Cole?
We're starting without Cole because I have a plan. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Podcast Motion Picture. My name is Reed. With me is also Noah and Jack, as always. Cole's probably going to show up in the next few minutes. He's definitely falling behind. He had work tonight, but he's going to be here. We used to work on movies together, indie films. They were freaking awesome and sweet. Go to Mini Movies on YouTube, MINNE, Mini Movies on YouTube. You find a whole bunch of cool-ass shit that you never thought was even possible. All right, if you're watching this and you're enjoying it, tell your friends. Tell them about it. Good, big, happy news. We now own Zoom. We don't own Zoom, but we have a stake in Zoom by having purchased a subscription. So now we'll still take a small break when we want to take a break, but no more awkward 40-minute pause and break. So uninterrupted, unedited, unrated sexual access to this podcast. All right. Now, guys, the two of you are probably wondering, why are we just getting in it without the fun, without the tickling of it all? Why are we just jumping into this? Because this week we've been busy doing other stuff as well. And there's rules to those things. There were rules to the table read. There's rules with some stuff I got to put together tomorrow. So I just like the thought that when we do this podcast, it doesn't fucking matter. To quote Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, it doesn't matter. So now we can just talk. So whatever you want to talk about, you just go right for it. I don't even have my headphones on right now. That's how fucking unruly we've gotten. Well, speak, damn it. Somebody say shit. You mother. You both. For those of you audio listeners, both of them in sync started mouthing their words. I actually got worried that my computer had been messed up in the process. You clowns.
I don't know. College football started tonight. That's pretty cool.
Who's starting tonight?
College football. I think the Ghosts play.
Oh, nice.
Actually, I think I'm gonna go Bleacher Report right now. Well, the computer keyboard can be in place for Cole. I want to see how NDSU is beating Colorado. Let's go.
No,
I think the Bulldogs play tonight, don't they?
I don't.
The Bulldogs. Who gives a fuck about the Bulldogs? Dude, that's D2 football. Come on, man. No one gives a fuck. Come on.
Noah, you have zero movies to talk about?
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's cool. Maybe you say 2 words about Atticus's thing. This is nice. I feel like I'm at base camp right now after we just made the final hike yesterday up to the Mount Everest, and now we're back down just chilling out doing this. Like, this is nice. I feel comfortable. All right. Yesterday I was like go, go, go from start to finish. So this is nice. Stress has just melted away.
Noah, who you watching tonight during the podcast?
Braves Phillies.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's been a fun game. Nick Castellanos just hit a go-ahead homer for the Phillies.
What tragedy happened today?
Exactly. For those who don't know, Nick Castellanos is famous for hitting home runs during national tragedies or while something on the broadcast is going on. The most famous example, of course, is when the Reds announcer dropped a gay slur on a hot mic and was delivering his apology. Nick Castellanos hit a home run mid-apology. But there's been all sorts of like uncanny amount of examples of this. So something interesting is me and our friend Sam watch a YouTube series where it like shows baseball players' stat pages and you have to like guess who the player is from that. And Nick Castellanos was one of tonight's players, so he knew something was in the air.
Is that like who's that Pokemon but for the MLB?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I think that's how we should elect presidents. They should just flash up the image and they shout, "Who's that president?" And then everyone has to shout out, and whoever shouts out the most, that's the president.
I like that.
I think how we should elect presidents is any nominees need to participate in a home run derby together.
Yes.
And we'll see who gets the most home runs.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
My dad played in a home run derby at the Metrodome once.
Dude, that's freaking sweet. Was Corbin Burnson there?
You know, never say never. He could have been.
So everybody listening, there's a show I grew up watching called Psych. In it, there's a guy named Corbin Burnson who plays the dad. And at one point, for one of the first times I ever went to hang out at Noah's house when we were teenagers, we might have been ICC at this point, community college. I looked over and he had a signed photograph of Corbin Burnson sitting in his basement, and it was like, why do you have this gem here?
Of course,
I
Corbin
hope
Burnson stars in the greatest baseball film of all time, Major League. So that is why.
Wait, excuse me, audio listeners, you might not get this, but Reed, did you shave?
Yeah, I did. Yep, I got rid of my beard.
Okay, something was throwing me off.
Yeah, I like this. I've got my mustache goes down a little bit, kind of handlebar-ish. I got a little soul patch I got my chain on. I feel awesome right now. I could stop a truck. I
The
was at
audio listeners, he's a little bit more of a Twinkie Hulk Hogan.
I'll take it, I guess. I'll accept. I accept your nomination. Okay, well, I'm glad that we started this because now we have absolutely no idea when Cole will be showing up. I don't have my phone on me, so I don't know if he's sent that I'm late text.
I have my phone in my hand and he has not.
I'm curious. Do you think when he texted us, can we do 8 o'clock? Do you think he was like, there's no way I'm making it by 8? Do you think he thought
No,
that?
I think there was an honest chance that he thought he could make it by 8, and then he decided that he probably wanted to eat dinner starting around 7:20. So then he's probably eating dinner right now, and then is going to text in 5 minutes that he cannot be on the podcast tonight.
Yeah. Well, guess what? We have all the time in the world, so he can hop in at any moment. So I'm tickled. I'm positively tickled. So here's what we got on the docket. In no particular order, some things to talk about. A couple weeks ago, Noah and I went to Green Day, and Noah has been itching at the bit to talk about it. I have kind of lost my train of thought on it, but I'm sure it'll come back to me as soon as we start talking. Jack has 3 movies to talk about. Noah has 0 movies to talk about, and I have 3 movies to talk about. So we got a lot. I also have a list to go over. And you know what? We'll talk. We'll also talk a little bit about Fats and Harry towards the end, I think. That way, if people want to hop off, they certainly can. So, hey, while we're just talking about stuff, I'm sorry. Somebody was about to say something, but I'm sorry. But Noah, Substack stuff. Have you taken a peek at that?
I mean, I looked at the homepage and it was kind of overwhelming. So that's about it. But okay. I am in now. I've accessed the account.
Good. Keep taking peeks at it. Just little digs here and there. Literally, all you got to do is just chip away, working hard. You got this, my man. All right. Somebody was going to say something else, and then I actually did kind of rudely interrupt.
Someone was?
I thought so.
At what point should I deliver my 30-minute rant on the state of the Minnesota Twins?
There's that too.
I didn't hear that on the docket.
I'd say wait a little while. I saw a game earlier. Would that have been a replay or a live game?
Well, did it say today? Yeah. Under Bally Sports, it should say live, and if it doesn't say live,
I was at work running around, so I couldn't really examine the screen. I just didn't know if I was seeing glimpses of a real game or.
We're off today.
Okay, then it would have been a replay. Do you know who won last night then? If that's when the replay was from?
Yeah, not us. We were swept by the Braves.
Shit. What inning did it go to? I saw we were top of the 10th when I was walking by.
That was 2 nights ago. We finished in regulation last night.
Gotcha.
It's just been bad. It's just been not fun.
For those of you audio listeners, in case you're not picking up on it, right now we're talking not about baseball, but specifically a Minnesota Twins baseball game, a series, and not the last game that got played, but a game 2 games ago. That's what we're talking about. So that's fun. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, who goes first? I could bitch about Hacksaw Ridge for like a solid 10 minutes if you'd like me to.
Yeah, if you want to jump right into one of yours, I can go after you. I feel like now with this grandiose amount of time, I think we can cover all these movies. We might lose our 1 hour long type of average here, but that's okay. We can talk like a motherfucker. So Hacksaw Ridge, break it down for us, my man.
Well, I don't know. I don't know who in the casting department was like Vince Vaughn. That's a drill instructor right there. Dude, I, Hacksaw Ridge. It's a frustrating movie because it's a Mel Gibson romp
Love
picture.
him.
I have a love-hate relationship with Mel.
That was a
But
joke. I do not love Mel
okay,
Gibson.
I was gonna say, um, how can I put this without being offensive?
No, you speak away. If you're gonna offend Mel Gibson, you say what you're gonna say. The guy's earned
Well,
offense.
what I mean is I know a lot of people like this movie, and I'm not trying to shit on their
Insult them.
insult their
Insult them.
intelligence,
Insult them.
but this is the most thinly veiled attempt of a high theological war picture that is simply just an over-the-top action movie. And I I'm sorry, I laughed 3 times during Hacksaw Ridge out loud. And Noah, you could probably I'll name the 3 and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You're probably already thinking of the 2.
I haven't seen this movie since I was 16, but
Okay.
I loved it when I saw it 7 years ago. So maybe I'll devil's advocate a little bit after.
And okay, I'll say this. If I wasn't currently writing a thesis on why anti-war movies and war movies itself aren't really effective, I'd probably like this movie more. But my head is so crammed full of all that crap right now, I can't look at it unless it's through that lens. But I laughed out loud when one of the soldiers picked up the top half of a dead American soldier in one arm and then shot his BAR in the other and used the corpse as a human shield while killing Japanese people.
Yeah, I don't remember. Don't recall that.
And then the other one was when they're like, let's put Vince Vaughn on a sled and have him be drugged by Andrew Garfield through the battlefield while
I
he's
do
like
remember
shooting. Yeah, it just looks silly, man.
Yep.
And also, I know Americans are good at baseball, but the fact is that he gets wounded by bicycle kicking a grenade. I don't know. It just kind of looked a little funny. But dude, this movie's weird. It's so weird. It's weird, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I remember about it is that montage where it's the God help me get one more or whatever.
God help me, please get one more.
And I remember thinking that was like moving at the time. And I definitely remember like the religious, what does he call the conscientious objector or whatever?
Yeah, that's a real thing. I'm not shitting on that aspect.
Yeah, like that's an interesting, I guess, way to look at it. The fact that Mel Gibson made it just does automatically make it worse and less intriguing to me, I guess. But you said like the 2 things I could have told you for sure about this movie is that one scene and then the fact that Vince Vaughn is in it. Just because that did stand out to me too. I don't remember him being bad, I guess, but certainly not a casting choice you've seen before or since for him. So
yeah. I don't know. It was just weird because he's clearly trying to be the drill instructor from like Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
And it's just not coming off that way.
Yeah.
Because the Vince Vaughn I know is in Wedding Crashers and Dodgeball. And he's kind of the schlubby. He's an asshole, but he's kind of schlubby. You know what I mean?
A real Reed the Rock type.
Yeah, there you go. That works.
What can I say?
Not quite as schlubby though.
Some people just have a good look about them like that. A real God take me home and do things to me look.
I don't know. It's a pretty looking movie. It's violent if you like war porn. If you're into that sort of thing, like you watch people get blown to pieces, like it's got that going for it. I thought that there was a couple points where it was just kind of jarring how he has it structured, where you kind of just flip time periods without any like notice. Like it's like it goes from childhood to him in like 18 in one scene, and then from drill he's in Okinawa. Like its pacing is awful.
In the Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi is from Okinawa.
Indeed, he is. Is it
Thank you.
Karate Kid 2? They go there.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. God, I
No,
gotta watch Cobra Kai.
Yeah, Hacksaw Ridge. It's I don't know how else. It's a Mel Gibson movie. Like that itself tells you enough that it's going to be, well shot. It's going to be very, very like not like Christian in a bad way, but like whatever character whoever the protagonist is 100% a Christ-like figure. Like you're not walking away from that. That Braveheart, Christ-like figure. Passion of the Christ, that is the Christ-like figure. Like Hacksaw Ridge. Like at one point, they're like, we're not going on this ridge without Desmond Doss because we feel invincible with him. And then they go up, then they go up there and they get fucking shot. Like not shot, but like all of a sudden they're like steamrolling the Japanese because God is on their side now, and like it's super super dramatically shot. But like my other issue with the movie is that, at least some other war movies attempt to humanize both sides. In Hacksaw Ridge, the Japanese are just mindless, like things to be shot. Like they have no characterization. There's nothing. It's literally just bodies thrown into a meat grinder. So I don't know. I feel like if you really, really want to watch a movie where people get blown apart for an hour and a half, like you go ahead, watch Hacksaw Ridge. But
all right, I think
like
if I ever get in that mood, I think I'll do that.
What do they call things? It's as wide as a lake, but as shallow as a pond.
Wow, that's deep.
Mm-hmm. Not this movie.
All right. Well, good covering. How many stars out of 5 would you give it?
2.5.
Okay, that's better than I thought you'd have given it.
2.5, simply on the fact that it looks good, and I think and I like Andrew Garfield. But other than that, it's not.
I've always been rooting against Andrew Garfield. Never liked him.
I don't know. I always was on the side of like the BoJack Horseman jokes against him.
Yes.
Like that's when I think of Andrew Garfield.
Yes. When he falls and does he die or just like break his leg or whatever?
I can't remember because I feel like he shows up later when they collapse, and then I think they eat him or something. Yeah. Like I'm trying to remember.
They eat Zach Braff.
That's who it is. Yeah. I think Andrew Garfield just breaks his neck in that one.
Because he falls down the pit of Todd's like Christmas or Halloween
in January. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yep. And they only did it because they asked Andrew Garfield to be in the show and he said no. So they're like, okay, fine.
Now, unpopular opinion here. Every time I watch BoJack Horseman, I get this uplifting feeling that things in life are going to work out.
Me too.
I don't know what that is. It's just I feel positive. It's a good energy. And BoJack's a hero.
Yes.
Do you remember when the ads for the final season came out and you're like, this is not ending well. Like this isn't gonna be a happy ending.
I don't know how you guys felt about BoJack, the character, throughout it all, but there was never a moment, even when he was at his worst, where I didn't feel like it's gonna be okay. Like I don't know if you're gonna get through it or not, but like BoJack will always be the person. Like I'm never gonna watch this and be like BoJack is the evil one out of everybody. It was always he's a problem, and yes, he's a mess, and yes, he's gonna fuck things up. But it was always it's not BoJack's fault, no matter how bad it gets, because it never really seems like he knows how to take control of his life.
Yeah, it's a tough line. It's one of the better shows I've ever seen, I think. Yeah, I don't know. You have this thing where you think Walter White is like a hero the whole time too. I think there's a lot of stuff that's Bojack's fault and that like he is a blatant asshole. But I do like him in the same way that I like Walter White. But I think there is a point where I don't know that I'm really rooting for Bojack anymore. Like if he died, I would have been like, yeah.
I think let me take a moment to rephrase some things. I guess I step back and say there are things that are his fault. I don't know if I said they're not his fault. A lot of things are his fault, but I never feel like they're things that he even is understanding what he's doing. I feel like he's got such a twisted, broken thought on things that he doesn't get it. So I'm never upset with him. I never think, Bojack, you are a piece of shit. Well, he is a piece of shit. I never think, Bojack, how could you do this? It's like, Bojack did that. Why did people around him look at him and go, Bojack's got this under control? Why the other people in his life trust him, I don't know. And I also want to say you had the right phrasing of what I meant to say is that the whole time, yes, I feel like I'm rooting for him. And then lastly, to your point, if I might, before I forfeit my time to the floor, Walter White is the motherfucking hero, and nothing is his fault except for one thing is his fault.
Which one thing?
I don't want to spoil it.
Did it have to do with berries?
The berries, the ricin?
Yeah, but it's not ricin.
It's not ricin.
I guess I don't remember. No,
ricin.
It is. Again, don't spoil anything because one person may at some point come across this podcast who's never watched that show. I think it is in maybe the second to the last episode, in which he gives away a bit of information that, to give a short quote, he's the smartest guy I've ever met, but they already made up their minds 5 minutes ago. That is the thing that I don't know how he didn't. I guess I know he's panicked, but he's been panicked before. I don't know how he fucked that up. Other than that, there's not one thing I blame that man for. He is a hero. He's a good guy. Everybody else got in his fucking way. That's just me.
The whole point of the show is the fact his whole character is about him being a loser to this power hungry maniac. And that's his whole character arc, is that at the end he admits it. Like, I wasn't doing this for my family. It was because I liked it. It made me feel good. Like, you guys, like, I could have been making any money, and this still would have been the fucking best part of my life.
And I think he's a hero for that. I think
he's a hero for that decision, too. I agree with that. But the decisions he makes along the way, I think, turn him into a major raging asshole.
A big difference, I think, between him and Bojack is with Bojack, people very much can clearly look at Bojack because all his life he's been an asshole. And clearly look at Bojack and go, this guy's a drunken asshole and he's going to do drunken asshole things. So then when they, get hurt by him, I never understood why they're even remotely upset. With Walter White, I get it because he's lying the whole time. Up and out of the blue, he's 50 years old. Up and out of the blue, he decides, I'm going to start selling meth. And then when he starts fucking up people's lives and he's like, it's not me. It's like, obviously they're not going to know it's him. So I get that you guys might want to be upset with him, but to me, he's a character. He's the person in the story where it's like, I don't care what he does to other people. They don't even matter because Walter White has a plan and it's just it's more of a goal to just succeed. And I just want that guy to succeed. And anybody who got in his way was an asshole. Looking at you,
even if it was a 4-year-old kid.
Even if it was a 4-year-old child.
Well, I don't think with this episode, I don't think I'm going to get to run for public office ever. I think you guys just ended my campaign.
I know someone said Skylar, and I know it's a hot take to say that she was not a problem at any point in the show. I think my brother is in the party that says she was in the right for all of her decisions. And I just want to say that there's not a bigger bitch in television than Skylar during those first 3 seasons when she's sleeping with what's his name, Ted. Yep, it gives him. There was points where she'd come on screen when I was first watching the show. I was like, bitch, get the fuck off. I'm already mad. I'm still mad at you for the last episode. Like, I can't look at you right now.
Last time Noah and I sat down and watched it, I really was on, like, I get it. I'm on Cole's side that she is not some evil person and that I shouldn't be mad. And I think it's just Anna Gunn doing a really good job of trying to make her someone that you don't really want to like because she's supposed to get in the way. I think she does that classic. She does as good a job as who's the guy I'm trying to think of? Jackie Gleason, but maybe Jackie's not his right name.
Joffrey?
Yeah, the kid who plays Joffrey. Is that Jackie Gleason? Jack Gleason, I think.
Yeah, it's a Gleason of some sort.
I think it's just Jack Gleason. Anyway, Jack Gleason does such a good job. I think Anna Gunn does that same thing, but instead of being some scary evil, you never know what she's gonna do. She's just this, you know what she's gonna do, and you fucking hate her for it because she's just a nuisance.
Yeah, she's not wrong. But
she's not wrong, but I think it's that her character doesn't see what's going on. She doesn't know how bad things actually are. So when she's like, Walter, I don't think you really care about us. It's like, Anna Gunn, he can't give a fuck right now. Like, he's waiting to die in like 2 hours and he can't tell you.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. So I don't think it's Skylar's fault she comes off as upsetting. I think.
Right. But she definitely is too. Yeah. There's times where you're like, Jesus Christ, stop. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
Walt Jr. was the biggest asshole.
Walt Jr.?
Walt Jr., what he do?
He is such a whiny bitch throughout that whole show. He is a dick.
He really is. And I don't know. I get it. I think I guess I don't know. I think he does the same type of thing as Jesse, where he's kind of learning to stand up for himself. And I think it might just be coming across because as he is somebody with, as he is somebody.
Drink some water, friend.
He has cerebral palsy. Is that what he has? Because he's got cerebral palsy. I think it's an innate thing people can't really ignore so much, that it's this thought of that he is going to be a little more dependent. You know, I know RJ Mitty is kind of does okay physically. I think he plays up the disability or the issue of his cerebral palsy in the show to make it a little more of a dramatic issue. So I think what we all think is that he kind of has to rely on Anna Gunn and Walter White. I don't know why I keep calling Skylar Anna Gunn. That's the actress's name. So I think we all watch it and go like, kid, I don't think you understand that you have needed your parents, so you shouldn't be quite so upset. I think we all think nobody would stick around for their kid like they did. So I think we think he's an ingrate.
Yeah.
That's fair.
When I think in reality, his character is very much a brave one, and I think he's very strong. I don't know. To me, it seems weird, Noah, that you don't like him as much as I think you should, because you have a knack for picking out the people who are the good guys.
I do, which is why I've said many times Jesse Pinkman is like, I mean, there's an argument to be made he's my favorite character in anything ever. Yeah, I don't know. Walt is just
hero.
Walt Jr. I don't know. I kind of would like to see him pick a direction one way or the other where he like really grows to hate his dad, which of course by the end does happen. But I don't know. I feel like he's always going back and forth all the time, and he's outwardly an asshole to his mom for no real reason, and then outwardly an asshole to his dad for no real reason. And at some point, I know he's a teenage kid, so whatever. Being too hard on the guy, but I'm like, when he's on screen, I'm never like, yes, here's my boy Walt Jr. You know, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I think it's hard too for the character, as his dad is having lung cancer, and then his parents are fighting and going through a divorce.
Yeah,
and I just think it, I guess my parents never did it, but doesn't look easy, especially not on a teenager going through hormones. And
no, probably not great. Jack, tell us about that.
Yeah, Jack, tell us how you conquer divorce.
You just gotta live, man. 2 Christmases.
Okay. Well, we are.
Can I just mention? Thank you, Reed.
What?
Can I just bring to light that we just jumped from Hacksaw Ridge to BoJack to Breaking Bad in a very, very short span.
Yeah.
See, this is what the podcast is meant to be. You know?
Yeah. Whatever.
we're uninhibited by Father Time.
Let's keep it moving though, otherwise I think we will run out of time. No word from Cole yet, huh? Thank goodness we didn't wait for him actually.
No word at all.
Yeah, which is weird. Let me hop to one of my movies. I'll bring up Parasite because I'm going to talk about it really, really briefly. I am going to have to. I really meant it. I left it on my letterbox that I got to write an essay on it because I just can't talk about it. It's too much. It's too good. I'll say right from the get go. I think I wrote this in my letterbox review. Right from the get go, I thought they do a thing where the kids, Jessica and Kevin, the daughter and son, are at the door, and Jessica's like, one more time, and they go through this little rhyme that they put together, a mnemonic device to remember the story of who they are and how they are related to one another in this made up little fiction of how they're gonna lie. And I thought if this were happening in any other movie made in America, we would be watching it. We'd be like, well, that's really like nobody does that here. But watching them do it, we're just like, oh, cool. And I was like, okay, how many other things do we hold to a different standard because we look at other people and we go, that's just something that all of those people do. Because we look at a bunch of Americans and movies and we go, nobody does that. Like we can just pick out easily. Nobody does that. I wonder how many times in Korea in the movie Parasite something might happen where everybody's like, nobody fucking does this. Nobody has ever done this ever. So I'm curious if that's an issue. Kept watching it though, and I was reinvigorated to say it is still one of the top 5 movies ever made. It is fucking out of this world nuts. Not just the cool ass story, but every detail about the make of it, the look, the sound, the look even. No, but really though, everything about it, the people who got the roles, the way things are shot, the color coding of it all, the lighting, the sets, the outfits, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
The fact that it literally, oh, sorry, Noah.
No, go.
No, you.
I was just gonna say I am more than due for a rewatch because I also love Parasite to death and I haven't seen it in a long time.
There was a small amount of talking going on during the movie between everybody, just little comments here and there, which was good fun. When the peach scene comes up, where they're gonna try to use the peach fuzz against the woman, fucking silence the whole time. I love that has a never-ending effect on everybody who watches the movie that you just are in it.
It's so just fucking smart. Like everything about it is something new but makes total sense, and it's just awesome. Like whoever wrote that movie, no idea what your name is, but that's one of the best written things I've ever
It's the director. It's the same guy.
Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah, Bong Joon-ho.
Did he write it too? Cool.
Yeah, he writes and directs most of the stuff. We love
him.
Did he do Train to Busan?
No,
he didn't.
He's done Snow. Was it
Snowpiercer?
He's done Snowpiercer. He's done the one about the giant genetically modified hippo thing.
Okja. I've seen that.
Yeah. My personal favorite of his, which is Memories of Murder. I think that one. I know it's an unpopular opinion. I like that one more than Parasite. I genuinely do.
Watch? Did he direct that?
Is that Memories of Murder? Did I make you watch Memories of Murder?
I haven't seen that. I thought you were gonna say something else.
Are you thinking Chungking Express?
Yes. Did he make that?
Yes. No, he did not.
Okay. God, I hated that one.
I fucking dude, you have to. How do you hate that? God damn it! It's the same director of We watched it in film studies. The fucking Love movie.
Yeah, that one. I paid no attention to that one.
In the Mood for Love is the name.
In the Mood for Love, yes.
I can't say I've ever been.
There we go. I got it.
Nice pull, dude. That's awesome. That's sweet. That was a Hail Mary. Well, I wouldn't say Hail Mary. That was a fucking button hook down the sideline and turned into a touchdown at the 50-yard line. That was sweet. Okay.
No, but I highly recommend, if you like Parasite, Memories of Murder. It's the Korean 7, but it's better than 7.
Cool. Memories of Murder. I'll keep that in mind. Okay, let's keep this gravy train rolling on down the station. I guess Got some time. Let's hear a word from our sponsor, Noah. Noah, our sponsor, tell us about Green Day and why you like them.
I do like that band. Yeah. Um, yeah, that was not last weekend, but the weekend before, right? If memory serves.
That was last Tuesday, right?
No, Tuesday was blank. This was on a weekend.
Yeah, it was
Tuesday
last Saturday.
Inc.
It
Oh
was two
yeah, it
Saturdays
was
ago.
2 Saturdays ago. 2 Saturdays ago. That's right. Okay, I'm up to
I know
speed. A
because
week
I
and a
have it
half
on my
ago.
calendar when marked as when my friends ripped my heart out and stomped on it.
Oh, yeah, sure. You wanted to listen to the Linda Ladies. So when this episode comes
Hey,
out for you
the Linda
listening,
Lindas.
2 weeks and 2 days prior is when we went to Green Day and the Linda Ladies. They were sweet. Noah, talk.
Okay, so yeah, I've officially seen 3 bands live now. One is Blink, one is Pierce the Veil, and one is the Linda Lindas, who like open the show, right? They're wonderful. They're wonderful again. Rancid goes on the stage, like 40-year band legends Rancid. They're all right. They're punkish.
Very cool.
And then they mentioned John Fisher of the Oakland A's, and that was like a major welcome surprise as something that like I've ranted to my mom about in the past, him being an asshole. So it's cool to hear Rancid shout that out. Then the Smashing Pumpkins take the stage, and like as an opener, which like to watch them play for like an hour 20 was pretty fucking phenomenal. Billy Corgan was in this like robe thing with like his button all the way up here, and he was just shredding. And then James Iha on the guitar was also just fucking shredding. And they had this woman guitarist that was also just shredding.
Everyone's shredding.
Everyone was shredding.
Even the
for
drummer was
Pumpkins.
shredding.
Did they play tonight?
They did. They played
Anything you
most-
would have wanted to hear, they
Yeah.
played.
Yeah.
And they played it all phenomenally. In the middle of their playing, clouds parted and a rainbow came down.
Yeah. And I've now had 2 songs since that show from their set list that I've listened to maybe every day since. So I got introduced to a couple new songs by them. So that was really cool. And then it's like starting to get dark, right? Or it maybe even is dark by this point. And then Bohemian Rhapsody comes on and the whole crowd sings that together. And it's just lovely. Then like a bunny in a Twins jersey comes out and dances around the Ramones, which is really cool. And then Green Day takes the stage, right? And like I have never been in a place with that many people in my whole life. I don't think like genuinely, it was pretty damn full. The stands and the field just filled with people.
Full.
Definitely. And they start it with a song they released earlier this year. So not a song I had heard it, but like I'm not gonna say I really cared about it, but it was just the right song because then they end that. Yeah, and like I've listened to that one a bunch since too. And the crowd was just into it in a way that like I don't think the Blink crowd was quite that into it on Tuesday.
Absolutely.
Like it was just really cool to be in that atmosphere. It was cool to be at Target Field. But like I watched that on TV 3 times a week basically, so that's really cool. Yeah, and then like they play the one song and then Billy Joe's like, "Welcome to 30 years of Dookie." They play one of the greatest albums of all time, start to finish, during which Reed and I are told to sit down by a 45-year-old woman behind us. I told her
you were sitting down at a Green Day concert?
Right.
Yeah, well, it started off with they start off with a Savior song where it's like, all right, yeah, this is good. I don't want to stand the whole time. Like, you got to earn me standing up. And then they really did hit the first note of Dookie. And it was like, all right, we're up.
I told our friend Vince this. I'm not even going to repeat most of the things he said, but he was pretty outraged for us that we were told to sit down.
This woman tapped us on the shoulders, was like, "Can you sit down? I can't see."
Like,
do you tell her to stand up?
No, yes. I actually did then stand up. Word for word. It was like that. It was no delay. He just was then stand. It was very solution oriented. You didn't even like linger on it.
I would like in a fraction of a millisecond, my mind is thinking, I don't want to be doing this fucking at all. Green Day is playing Dookie right now.
Seriously.
I'm thinking, how do I end this without really escalating it? And I'm thinking like, I don't know, like, like how can I make this not ruin the rest of the show for me? Because I was pretty pissed. I was tapped on the back and told to sit down. So I did. I just said, okay, stand up. And so that was that basically. Like, did I think about it a couple times throughout the show? Yeah, I did.
Hard to shake the feeling we were being watched.
Yeah, exactly.
Because every time we stood up, because sometimes we'd sit down because like we can't sit through 37 songs. So some of these lesser than bangers, but still almost bangers, we got to sit down. Every time we stood up, I'm thinking, oh man, I bet we're really bothering this woman who can't be bothered to stand up for this guy who's been doing this for 30 years.
Right. And like we shouldn't care, but like I cared a tiny bit. But anyways.
Why were you there? Why was she there? She didn't want to, if she didn't want to celebrate.
Like I was gonna get to this, but they left like 2 songs into American Idiot.
Yeah.
They left their seats and did not return.
Left. They went away. They were done listening to Green Day.
They probably shouldn't have been. They probably should have been doing something else with their night. Honestly,
I don't think they were fans of Green Day.
How is Target Field for like concerts?
Really good.
Because I've only ever been to XL, and XL's fucking great for concerts.
XL is really good. I haven't been to the XL since last August for Paramore now, so like it's not super fresh in my mind. But Target Field, I thought blew the Target Center out of the water.
Target Center, I think is I've been to a concert in each venue now in the Twin Cities area. I think Target Center was the most fun because of the environment of having so many people there, and because Billy Joe Armstrong was electric.
Yes,
I said it before to some people. I'll say it again. He came out at 100% energy and left the stage the same energy. He never wavered. He was never not at the most fun that he has ever been. I think he even had a post where he was like, this concert was just different. It was so good. Every single song, everybody was in on it. They did one called, what is it? FOD? Is that the I'm
the
all by
closer
myself?
Of Dookie?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm all by myself. And Trey Cool, the drummer, all the lights went out. And Trey Cool came out then in just a bathrobe, and he had the microphone because he's singing it. I was all by myself,
and they have like an orchestra up on the jumbotron,
and he's like sensually dancing and like starting to take the robe off. It was just everybody's being a goof, and somehow while they're being a goof, they're one of the best rock bands ever.
Yeah, there was this moment before they went into Basket Case where like Billy Joe did this face and he like looks to the left and looks to the right because if you know the album, you know what song's coming next. And then he goes into Basket Case. It was just awesome.
No, I'm jealous, but also I haven't been to a concert since Kendrick.
Damn.
And I want to say that first off, that was the first concert I ever went to. So pretty good starter, but I think what makes a concert is the crowd.
Yeah.
So like Kendrick was good because it was the new album he did, so it was a little bit more story based, and everyone was vibing to it. And then all of a sudden he goes, you know what, I like you guys here in Minnesota, and he breaks in the Backstreet Freestyle, and then the roof came off the place. Awesome. So that's what it sounds like was Green Day. It was just he was on a different level of.
He was.
Yeah. He
in between Dookie and American Idiot, he did like Minority, Brain Stew, a couple like new album songs. But they also did Know Your Enemy, and they brought a fan up to the stage for Know Your Enemy, and like she crushed it.
Yeah,
like,
really,
that was awesome. Yeah,
is that the only one they did from 21st Century Breakdown?
Yes. Yep.
No, they right towards the end of it, they pulled her up on the stage then to finish out some lines because there were just a couple lines left, and they wanted someone who knew all the lines. She said she knew them, went up there, crushed it. She got to jump off of the speakers at one point onto the stage to land at the last strum of it all.
Nice.
It was such a cool moment, in like a movie or a show where like the singer calls someone on stage. As for what you could imagine that is for a Green Day fan, it was exactly what that was, and it was a perfection moment. There's not a way that girl for the rest of her life doesn't think about that daily, and every time bring up to anybody in any argument. Well, what time I went up on stage with Billy Joe Armstrong, I sang all his lines perfectly. I jumped off that thing, and then he just gave me a hug, and the entirety of Target Field chanted my name. my name at a Green Day concert.
Yeah.
It was so fun, dude.
Yeah. She won the night.
It
Yeah.
was such a happy night all across
Yeah.
the board, except for that motherfucker who could not be fucking bothered to stand the fuck up. Who pays $80 fucking to sit in a chair? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there was a single time I sat. I think at Kendrick, I think the only times we sat down was when it was in between artists. Like, but the moment someone came out on stage, you were back up.
If I had my way, I would have been up for a couple Smashing Pumpkins songs, but like not a lot of people around us were doing it. So I was like, all right, I'll just sit for this one. But yeah.
Yeah. I would have stood up for some of the Smashing Pumpkin ones. I love Today. Today's music video is fucking cool as shit.
When they went into Today, because I didn't know any of the songs before Today, when he finally hit that, I mean, iconic guitar riff, like that was one of my favorite parts of the whole night, honestly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It even featured the show Sykes, Bullet with the Butterfly Wings, if I said that right.
I am still just a rat in a cage.
And it was awesome.
Yeah.
Shit, I had a thing to say, but now I am plain plumb forgetting it. Oh, I'll say it definitely freaking blew Blink 182's last show out of the water, big time. But to be fair to Blink, our good friend and Noah's makeout buddy Tom DeLonge was very sick.
Yep.
So,
still is, from what I'm hearing from the Blink subreddit. So
that's weird. What's that other singer's name? I've heard him a lot. Hosier.
Hosier, yeah.
I hear so many different pronunciations. I've heard Hosier, Hosier, Hosier. I always just like to say Hosier.
You're right by saying that for once. So yeah.
I was just saying I've never heard of Hosier. I've only ever heard Hosier.
I've heard a few. Hosier, Josie and Sagan and their friends went to Hosier, and apparently he was very sick to the point that he could not sing like the big ones, or at least the one, some of the latter ones. But I think he still put on a really good show. So that was nice.
We did have a moment too where Billy Joe played the Master of Puppets riff because Metallica was also in the city. So
nice. I heard that concert sucked, apparently.
Really?
The Metallica concert. I've heard very, very mixed things about that one.
Some of the folks at this concert, they were wearing the Night One Metallica shirts.
Yep.
So that was cool. But it was cool he played that one. Didn't he play Enter Sandman as well? I think he played two of them.
He played Iron Man.
Yep. And all he did was he did a few notes and then didn't just say Metallica.
Yep.
No, apparently Metallica only played like 3 of their actual, like, the songs people listen to, and then went into all their new stuff, which no one gives 2 shits about.
Yeah. Green Day did it right. They absolutely did it right.
Yeah.
Seriously, how many did they get away with? 6 new songs from the Saviors album?
Probably.
And every time they played one, everybody's energy was up here. So now every time I think of Saviors, I think it's one of the gang. It's the next one. And so I'm very happy. They freaking killed it.
I think when it comes to bands, Green Day is one of them that is very conscious that they are past their glory days when it comes to like hits. Their music is still good, but it's no Dookie, it's no American Idiot. They're not putting those out anymore, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's like when you listen to when they do concerts, everyone says, oh, they played all their hits, and then they play a couple of their new ones. It's like, well, yeah, they should, because you go to Green Day to listen to American Idiot. You don't go to Green Day to listen Hand Grenade.
Yeah.
And I mean, when they do these concerts, part of it is because then they want to try to build hype. Jack, I really mean it. They played their hand perfectly. I am psyched every time I think of the new album. I feel like I had one other point to make about it all, and now I've just lost because you said something really funny, Jack. Anyway,
we should call out. We got to see Jesus of Suburbia.
That is what I'm jealous of.
That was pretty cool.
That was really cool. It was nice listening to an 8-minute song, standing up on a perfect temperature night in the Twin Cities, listening to Jesus of Suburbia and singing every word right. Something about that it's pretty good. Happy feeling. I got compliments on my Misfits shirt.
We got complimented on our singing voices.
Yep. 2 girls next to us were like, you guys are really good singers. You're on key and everything. And it was like, thanks.
Did you bring up the fucking high school video of fucking
watch
this.
Flip my phone.
Me.
Oh, wait.
That's me.
Okay, that's me. That's Noah. That's my friend Jack. That's Cole. That's other Cole. That's Inga.
No, watch this. Watch this
part. See. Just shush. It's okay. They're doing what's her name. Don't worry.
Yeah.
No, what's her name was also cool.
Seriously. Also cool.
Yeah. Oh, I actually really liked what's her name.
Yeah, who is she? She sounds pretty cool.
What's her name?
Yeah, she sounds pretty cool. What's her name?
Oh, I wonder if she ever married. I'm
making a joke.
What's his face? No, it's funny. I get it. Okay. All right. Well, let's do another 10 minutes of this, and then we're going to take a break. Jack, I don't know how long you need to talk about your things for, but if you want, I can get through one of mine real quick, and then we can just go right to break and take the rest of the time.
We're doing breaks?
We're going to just take a falsetto break because I got to go get something to drink in this interim.
Yep. I got to pee here coming up.
So here we go. Let me talk about a thing real quick, and then we'll go to break. Then the rest of the time is ours to do with as we please, which will be talking about movies. When we come back from the break, everybody, I'm going to drop my top five video games that I think would make for perfect movies. And not that you would take the video game itself and just make a movie out of it, but the world is what's right. Okay, so let me real quick. I'll talk about mine, then we'll go to break because I don't need a lot of time to talk about this. The Birdcage, 1996.
I've seen that.
Robin Williams, Nathan Lane, Hank Azaria, Gene Hackman, and I don't remember anybody else that was in it. Oh, tall woman from The Grinch. So, bada bing, bada boom. The love interest of The Grinch.
Christine Baranski. Yeah,
nice.
I have that name.
It's actually pronounced Kvis. Touching, yeah. For everybody listening, Noah's a moron. Anyway, enough about Noah's moronicism. So Robin Williams, Nathan Lane. Robin Williams is a drag show runner, a nightclub owner. Nathan Lane, his partner of like some 20 years, is the head drag queen. I don't know if there's a title for the leader of the drag queen. I think as RuPaul would call it, RuPaul would say, I am the drag queen. Anyway, Nathan Lane, bit of an explosive character in that he's always got his emotions way up here. He can never pull them down. He's such a dramatic person, and all of his emotions are way over the top, super entertaining and fun to watch. Robin Williams is always just flattened down here in it, and yet he still gets to do that same comedy. He's never doing his big freak out moment or anything. Not that that's a staple for him, but he's never up here. He's always calm and collected. It was nice to see a 90s movie show 2 gay characters in such a flamboyant setting, surrounded by over-sexualized, nearly naked bodies walking around the beaches of Florida. And yet at no moment are their heads turning or are they making some way wild gay comments. Nathan Lane has this fear as this mid-40s gay man, cross-dressing dragster, who is very conscious about his body, very much thinks that Robin Williams, his partner 20 years, is cheating on him. Such a humanizing thing. There's so much I could talk about and how good of a quality this is. Now, mind you, there were some little dated jokes, but that happens when you make a movie from 35 years ago. 35 years ago? 30 years ago flat? 30 years ago flat. Just about. Anyway, but Nathan Lane's going through all these range of emotions, and Robin Williams is always trying to just comfort him and say, like, I don't want anybody else. Sometimes he does have funny jokes where he's like, yep, I am cheating on you, just to be funny. He's always, they're a great couple in it. I loved it. Gene Hackman is also in it. He's a Republican senator, very anti non-straight white Christian type. Anyway, I bring that up because Gene Hackman has a daughter. Rob Williams has a son. Those two are about 20. They want to get married to each other. The problem is both of them are nervous about introducing the others to each other's parents. Classic trope, but that doesn't really happen until the third act anyway. So the whole movie is really about this kid, Val, of Robin Williams and Nathan Lane, trying to get Val's trying to get his two parents to understand the situation and go along with pretending like they're not a gay couple, doing whatever it takes. Right off the bat, as soon as he brings this idea up to Robin Williams, there's a great moment where immediately Robin Williams responds with, why would I do that? It took me 20 years to become who I am as a gay person. And it's like, it's chilling that this father has to look at his son and immediately put that out there. And yet his son still pushes. And Robin Williams is like, okay, if you want me to do that, I'll do that. They change up the whole apartment, make it look a lot nicer, make it look a lot less gay. And then Robin Williams is going to work on his shtick. And then they got to figure out, what are we going to do about Nathan Lane, the mother figure in this relationship? Not that he is kind of the mother figure. He's got more of the feminine side to him, but, not that, between a gay couple that there is a father and a mother. There's just the two parents. Anyway, all the same, he is the motherly type, Nathan Lane. They're going to figure out he's such an explosive guy. We can't have him here for this because he's going to blow up. And so then they work on how are we going to get him out of here? Really funny stuff. Doesn't work out. He figures it out. So then he's like, all right, I still got to be there. What if we just introduce me slowly as like the uncle or a best friend or something? And they're like, okay, we can give it a try. So they spend a while trying to make him act straight. Hilarious. Completely an undated comedic bit. It will never not be funny of a gay man trying to pose as straight. At one moment, they're trying to teach him how to do a new walk, and Robin Williams is like, give me John Wayne. And so Nathan Lane does the walk. He does the John Wayne walk, and he comes back, and Robin Williams is like shocked and disappointed. He goes, was that too much? And Robin Williams goes, no, I just never realized that's how John Wayne actually walks.
Yeah.
Because it's such a flamboyant, he's got like his hands up here. I've always thought that, and I'm glad somebody makes a joke about it in the movie. Anyway, lo and behold, they get through that, and we get to a point. Family's coming to dinner. Robin Williams got a suit on, got his hair slicked back, straight-looking, normal, regular man, not an ounce of gay in him, and whatever, it's fine. And then we get this shot of the rest of the bedroom in which Nathan Lane's come into, and he's, big, huge shot. He's just kind of taking up a corner as he enters, and he kind of saunters over, and he's trying not to have too much of a walk. And he sits down then, across the room from them, and he's trying to sit straight and fit into his new suit and everything. We never see him in a suit. We never see him in anything that a stereotypical person would wear. They're all out there, his clothes. They're not some crazy stuff, but they're just, a little unusual. Still good looking on him. He always wears everything right. But we have him there just looking like a hollowed out person. And I don't know exactly what it is that he says right off the bat. I think he says, it doesn't work, does it? And I felt immediately choked up in my chest. I don't often get that from a lot of things. It was like my eyes weren't watering, but it's like my eyeballs are in pain right now because this is hard to watch. And I think very shortly after that, as they say a couple more lines, I think Nathan Lane asks his son, why don't you like me? And it's like, oh my God, that he's got to go through this. And then the rest of the movie plays out, and the rest of it is all good and funny and everything. Everything does work out in the end. And I will say that son, Val, might be the biggest piece of shit character I have ever seen written. He is a fucking asshole, and at no moment does he get a consequence because of it. But yeah, so I would say it is a delightful movie. I think as far as LGBTQ movies go, this is one where even if you were some derelict, moronic, you want to hate everybody you possibly can on one particular side of the aisle, saying that all those movies are woke, I would say throw this movie on, you're going to watch it, and if you don't see these people and say, God, I feel a little bit bad that these people have been in the closet, forced to be there for so long, or even when they come out of the closet, are under merciless attacks unless they are in their own communities. You might say to yourself, God, they deserve a little bit better because they are human beings.
Yeah. Just real quick, I watched this like during our ICC days, not with you. I remember it was just like a Netflix. Oh, Robin Williams is in this. And like from every word you said, like that's what I remember of it, like kind of just being blown away by it.
Yeah.
like from the poster, it's like, oh, this is going to be a 90s comedy with Robin Williams and Nathan Lane. And it's incredibly funny, but also just super heartfelt too. Just like really complex characters and relationships. I remember loving that movie. So
strangely complex for the amount of, I felt like there was a small amount of money put into the budget, and yet it is a complex deal.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Yeah, I'd say 3 stars out of 5. And yeah, if no further comments, let's take ourselves a quick break. All right, everybody, we'll be back after these ads. Let's get back into it, gang. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Podcast the Motion Picture. Remember to go to mini movies. Remember to tell your friends about us. Remember to tell your enemies about us. Remember, if you're dying on the operating table and you come back to life and you have 2 seconds left, make sure to say podcast the motion picture before you die, because then they have to put that in a court of law. Everybody reads it. Okay, we're back. Jack, you have 2 more movies to talk about. I will have 1 more movie to talk about. Noah, I don't think you have much to talk about other than to give your good and humble opinion on everything you can. Now, first and foremost, to get the energy back up in the room, much like a young Billy Joe Armstrong might, pre-bisexuality awakening. Let me tell you all about this. Top 5 video games that ought to become movies. This is in no particular order. I got to get better about ordering things. So first and foremost on here, but again, in no particular order, the Left 4 Deads. You know what I mean?
Nope, never played them.
Yeah. Jack, are you frozen or do you just
I'm
have
good.
that?
No.
You're
The
gonna
Left 4
Kanye had a
Dead?
stroke. Yeah.
Yes.
Just a
No.
movie in that universe.
No, I disagree with that point.
You don't think those would make for a good movie?
No, I think they work really well as video games, but I feel like if you make them as a horror movie, it's just going to be every other zombie movie ever made.
There's never been a good video game movie, right? Like none.
Video game movie. I mean, we've
Doom?
got. Oh,
No, that one sucks. That one sucks.
I
don't think there's video.
Have they just been a bunch of good shows? Is that all I can think
There's
of?
been one good show, right?
There was
Last of Us.
Fallout. The Last of Us is the other one, yeah.
Yeah, so I think unless you're like Metal Gear Solid, I think you work better as a show than as a movie.
Yeah, and again, I guess I should say I've got movies written now, but I would take a show. I would take a show out of these things. I know we're at limited series in the world right now. I know how the business works. I would also put the Saints Row series. It's just a movie in that world. I think you cast I don't know. I think you cast a Ryan Gosling type, and you get or not Ryan Gosling, a Ryan Reynolds in there. And I don't know if there's a type. I think you just have to do that guy. Just where the boss is doing whatever the fuck he wants all the time.
I was gonna say like Saints Row 3 and 4 or Saints Row 1 and 2.
3 and 4, where physics don't really come into play and continuity doesn't matter, and where Burt Reynolds is just the mayor of this town. God, is that awesome?
Be a good show.
Yeah, it'd be super fun.
Noah, I know you don't play video games, but you have to realize that Saints Row the Third has one of the funnest openings to a video game ever, in which you blow up a skyrise to Kanye's Power, and it's a pretty good. It's pretty good.
Super. It has always kept Kanye up here for me. That guy's a human piece of shit. My opinion of him, it dropped a little bit, but not as low as it can go for a lot of people. All because I got to do one of the coolest things because he made a good song once. Now, Kingdom Come Deliverance. That's kind of a smaller known game. I think the game is pretty terrible and boring, but I think the story of this peasant who kind of gets thrown into the fires of the world, I think it's a really well done story, but to play through that game is really shitty. Oh, it's hard.
Reed.
What?
Reed, have you ever Cole just texted, by the way.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you heard about this, but they took that boring ass game and they're like, let's make a sequel.
I saw.
And they did. And I don't know who the fuck is gonna buy that game because
of course I know him. He's me.
He's me. I don't know, man. That's a lot. It took a lot to play that fucking game.
Yeah, I still have a playthrough going. I reloaded up at one point. It was like I can't hop back into this right now. I can't do it.
Did you ever get to the mission where you have to make the medicine? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Make the medicine? I don't know about it.
There's a mission where you have to make medicine for an abbey, and the game tells you twice what's in the recipe and never again. So unless you're paying attention, you're fucking spitballing. And I think I killed everyone in that abbey because I did not make it right.
I played an awesome game once where you have a similar moment like that, where you're trying to have a son and you got to follow this witch's ritual, and it shows it all to you. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, what was that? And then it's all right, what did I just show you? And it's oh no, I don't fucking know.
No.
Very cool. Next up would be a game, very old game. Maybe it's from 2005 or so, maybe even sooner, called Advent Rising. I think I've talked to you guys about this before a little bit. It was like a very quiet game, not a lot of people know of. Early 2000s. It was supposed to be the Halo killer. Uh, I don't know why they called it that or why they thought it would be that. I recently found it after about 15 or 20 years or so, years of looking for it, just about 20, and played it. Gameplay is not the best, but the story and the universe is really cool. I don't know. I think it predates Mass Effect, and I feel like Mass Effect rips off a couple ideas from them. Just to suddenly there's this big ancient race that shows up and wants to just like, they're a big mess. They're gonna make a big mess of everything, and I think it would make for a good show or a good movie. Um, I really
I don't
think
know.
the video game itself is too old and too poor of gameplay. Not that it's horrible gameplay; it is kind of fun, but I really think the story makes for great drama.
I was gonna say, first off, I agree with you. I think Advent Rising would be actually a killer like TV show. I think it'd
Yeah,
be very fun if you keep it silly, because there are points in the game where it is kind of silly,
yeah.
like the overtop action. But I was gonna
Mhm.
say, I felt bad when you said that it took you 20 years like to find that game when I first found it when you were living at 420. I was like,
Mhm.
what the fuck is this game? Advent, what the fuck is Advent Rising?
Yeah,
And then the next day I found it for $5 on Steam, and I was like, this I feel bad. Like it's just been sitting here this whole time.
yeah.
But
Like you
I
can.
bought it, and I can agree, it is jank. It is the jankiest of jank.
It is. But yeah, that's just one of them. And then another one, I would want to see a Fable movie. I wouldn't want to see a movie made out of any of the existing stories, and I don't want you to try to take so much of the gameplay and try to catch that vibe where you got to build a monopoly out of shit. I just like
You know,
that world.
you know what sucks that Cole isn't here because we just talked about Fable the other day,
Nice.
about Fable 2 and 3, and how Cole is really hoping that the new Fable game is actually good.
I do too.
But I was saying, Reed, if they do a Fable series, the climactic scene, the way to end it is they have to have the protagonist just be richer than everyone else.
That
That
and
is
gotta kick a
that is
chicken.
my favorite part about uh
Yeah.
Fable 3
God, it's
is
awesome.
you win because you're rich. That's the only reason.
There's nothing I like more in a video game than when you get to build up a bunch of money and just overpower other people or just build up a stature. What do they call those? Roguelike, right? Is that what they call that? I think it's called
Roguelike is roguelike is the ones where you go until you die and then you get stronger after each time you die because you
to,
get to know more shit more.
to me it vibes like that, but only on money, where you just gotta spend money and then you're getting a shit ton more money and then less money and then a shit ton more money and you become more and more financially powerful. Anyway, enough about video games. Don't
Wait,
do
can I say something real
okay.
quick?
One more thing about
Because you
video
brought
games.
it up. I think the best TV series that for a video game world, because you mentioned it. I think Mass Effect would make a killer TV show.
I think so too.
Because holy fuck, is that a very well thought out science fiction world?
Hmm.
And it's a fun fucking universe. Noah,
I
you'd like Mass Effect.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that.
If you like Star Trek, I think you would like Mass Effect. Not because it has its goofy of moments, but because it has a wide universe.
Can I play it on the PS5?
Probably.
Yes, you can.
Can I play like if I were to buy a disc of like an old PlayStation game, does it play on a PS5?
Depends.
Okay.
So you can't if it's a PlayStation if it's prior to PlayStation 3, no. If it's a PS4, yes. But if you have a certain membership on PlayStation, I believe you get access to a huge library of old games that you can stream. Because I don't know if you remember, this is a flashback read. I don't know if you experienced this. Do you remember the Toy Story 2 video game where you play as Buzz Lightyear?
You guys have told me.
Yes, that one I have on my PS5. So they do have old PS2 titles, but they're only digital.
But if I went to that store in the mall here in Duluth and bought a PS3 disc, would it play on my PS5?
You could
No,
Google
no,
specifically some discs, I think. Does it not work like how Xbox works where
no. That's different hardware.
Okay. Yeah.
That's like a big issue they're trying to fix right now. But
Yeah.
Noah, Mass Effect is on the whole trilogy is usually on sale for like $8 or $9 at any
Wow.
point in time.
Noah, something fun. It's a very full game with a lot to do, and your choices that you make in the game affect what happens. So it's not like you're just stuck on a path. It's very
Mhm.
fun. Something very cool is your choices from the very first moment you start Mass Effect 1 can carry all the way through to Mass Effect 3.
Cool. Well, I'll look out for it then.
Always thought
And
that's
you
one
can
of the
fuck aliens.
one of the most stellar things is that choices have consequences and you can fuck aliens.
Yes.
And I've always said that.
Wow.
Okay. Well, Jack, you have a movie to talk about, I do believe.
Yes. It's another movie because all the movies I'm watching right now are not fun. They're not fun movies to watch, and I'm not having fun watching them because I have to take notes and analyze them. Which I don't know if you've ever watched a 3 hour long movie. That's already long. Now pause it every 5 to 10 minutes because you have to write something down.
Mhm.
But I watched a movie from the Netherlands called Land of Mine, and it's from 2016, and
Bad
it's
year.
about a it's about the treatment of German POWs by Denmark. Wait, no, it's not the Netherlands. It's Danish. My bad. You're gonna have to bleep that out. It's a Danish movie. But it's about how in 1945, after the Second World War ended, the Danish used German POWs to clear the beaches of their west coasts of mines, because the Germans mined the piss out of them, because that's where they thought that the Allies were going to invade, because it was the closest from Berlin. And then we were like, psych, no, we're going to Normandy. So, but the film highlights on it is because the POWs in the movie are all young teenagers, because at that point, Germany was just enlisting anyone they can.
Mhm.
So, and like, it's a very big moral movie because it centers around that. Like, first off, it is, regardless of their age, it was a war crime what they were doing with those POWs by forcing them to clear beaches of mines by hand. But the fact is that the movie is very highlighting on the theme of that, the trend of like generational trauma, or like the old fucking over the lives of the youngs by their decisions. And I mean, it's an effective movie because it's intense, because they're dealing with mines. So, they have to take apart mines without blowing up. But what makes it worse is that you got like there's at certain points where you know these teenagers die, and like there's a 13-year-old kid with his arms blown off because he didn't set off a mine properly. And it's just very, very, like, it doesn't hold punches when it comes to violence. So I framed it as one of those movies that is very good, but I don't ever want to watch again because it's not a fun movie to watch. And
It does not sound fun to watch.
no, and it doesn't help that like one of the main characters is this Danish sergeant, and he has no love for the German POWs because of the occupation and all that stuff. And of course, he goes to the natural character growth of him realizing, okay, using kids to clear mines is probably illegal and not a morally good decision. But it does it in a manner where it's like it's like he is morally good, but at the same time they're like, this guy isn't like good still just because he's become like, oh, we shouldn't use boys to clear mines. The fact is that they're still using POWs to clear mines doesn't phase him. His whole like arc of the story is trying to get older POWs in to clear the mines because he doesn't want to use the kids anymore.
Hmm.
But yeah, not a fun watch.
Doesn't sound like it.
It's not as brutal as Come and See or Grave of the Fireflies, though, and it's not as well made, I will say.
Hmm.
Okay.
Nice.
I made it through both those, so maybe.
I don't know how I saw how you reacted to Grave of the Fireflies. I'm glad I didn't watch Come and See with you. I don't think I'd like to see your reaction after that.
How did he react? Did he yell a lot? Did he drink himself to sleep?
No, he walked away and didn't say goodnight, and he just went into his room.
He does that, yeah. He has a habit of that.
Yeah, I would rather watch Come and See every day for the next 24 years than ever watch Grave of the Fireflies ever again, I think.
Man, I really gotta check that one out.
That's just because, like I said with Breaking Bad, I kind of draw the line at kids. I don't like to see kids hurt or in pain or anything, and yeah.
Reed, I believe Grave of the Fireflies is coming to Netflix on September 3rd, I believe.
Oof, now I really gotta bite the bullet on that one. Oh no. Poor choice of words, huh? Anyway, I'll have to check that out.
I don't get the joke.
For those of you audio listeners, everybody just winced at it. The joke is the severity of PTSD often leading, well, more often than other illnesses leading to suicide ideation and or attempts.
Fucking hate you.
Good. I'm glad.
How many stars would you? 4 out of 5 stars. If you want to be depressed, watch it. If you don't, go watch something like the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. You don't really need to watch Land of Mine unless you want a good moral compass movie to make you feel like I'm morally right and they're not.
If you don't want to be depressed, but you want to feel a little bit of depression, watch the Birdcage. Just a teeny bit of depression there. Not much. Small bit. A little bit of salt on someone's food who's got the diabetes. What?
I just thought of a video game movie that we forgot to mention. Uncharted. They made Uncharted. I forgot that they did do that.
They did. Is there really no good movie? I feel like there has to at least have been one good movie, but I can't think of any. I can just the shows are the only things that pop up.
Like I can think of Assassin's Creed, which I've never seen, but it's supposed to be
that one sucked.
Uncharted sucks. I don't know. I'm not the biggest. I mean, the World of Warcraft movie sucks, I've heard.
Yeah.
The OG Doom one.
Borderlands apparently isn't doing too hot. I'm watching the shit out of that when I get a chance. It sounds so good. The fact that the director told the actress playing the character Tiny Tina, she said, who do you base it on? Base it off of Harley Quinn. And it's, fuck would you base an already written character that's been in
audio
back. My audio's back. Is this better? I'm back.
You're good.
Anyway, stupid. I don't want to talk about Borderlands until I've watched it.
I will say, you know the guy who wrote The Last of Us, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think he did Chernobyl too. He was actually supposed to write the initial Borderlands script. And then they didn't like it for some odd reason. So there's actually 2 accredited writers on Borderlands, and one is a fake name because they're like, okay, you have to I don't want to be credited, but I know you're going to credit me anyway, so credit me as this fake name. And people figured it out really quickly that like it was him.
I think, and maybe they did get these 2 writers, but I feel like why wouldn't you grab people from the most successful Borderlands game and then say, write us a movie? Or at least write us a story for a movie and we'll get a screenwriter to put the finishing touches on for you. I don't understand how these big production things work where it's like, let's make some pretty insane decisions here that nobody else would think to make. Like, I don't know if is it pressure? Do you think these producers feel a pressure and then they're like, I don't know what to do. And it's like, calm down and just make a movie. Like it's the same as taking a pencil to a piece of paper. If you're going to draw something, just fucking do it. Like it's not.
I don't know. They already have like established rules in a universe. It's like, it can't be that hard.
Yeah.
To like just frame something within that.
And it's not like you're creating something from nothing and that you have a fan base too. Like people love this. People want this to work out. So how do you fuck up when people are looking at it and they're like, this'll be fun? How do you do it?
On the talk, I don't know if this is mentioned on this. We've probably mentioned this joke before, but on the topic of video game movies, in the Hollywood Reporter Actor Roundtable, that featured Jeff Bridges and what's his face? Who plays
Lloyd
Joel in The
Bridges.
Last of Us?
Joel in The Last of Us.
He's also
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal is talking about playing the video, not playing the video game, but playing the character from the video game. And then like they're talking about how he was cool and all this stuff and like how his nephews loved it. And then Jeff Bridges is on like the opposite set of the round table and he goes, I was in a video game once. And they're like, oh really?
Oh,
Like what
I
was
remember
that? And he
that.
goes,
Yeah.
Tron. And
Yeah.
no one laughed at it. And I'm like, that's the best fucking joke ever told.
Yeah.
And not a single goddamn person laughed at this.
That is awesome. He's just across the table. I was in a video game once. Yeah, that's funny. I think I'm gonna say two controversial things because I saw a clip of World War 84 today, WW84. Wonder Woman 84 is what the abbreviation's for. Pedro Pascal, 2 seconds in it is all I saw him, and I know he's in it for more. Thinking about him as Joel from The Last of Us, I think he does a good job as Joel. So what I'm gonna say is kind of controversial, my own thought. I feel a little Pedro Pascal'd out right now. I feel like he's getting some roles that I don't feel like he's gonna fit. Joel was an odd man out because he did. I think he crushed it. Not that I know Joel all that well, but him being Mr. Fantastic, I think it's weird to have a kind of a average height. Not that a Hispanic individual can't take a white man's role, but it's Reed Richards.
Reed Richards. Am I wrong too, or is he like old?
He's got some gray hair, but Pedro's getting a little bit older now anyway. But he's a tall, lanky guy with one of the whitest fucking names ever. He is a rich billionaire. And it's like, there's not a lot of people of color that are rich billionaires. Like, so maybe don't show, maybe set the limit of fiction at this guy stretching out to any length. Maybe don't show people that, oh yeah, that's how the world works, when it's just like, that's anyway, that's just me. I'll get off my soap opera box. Maybe I'm an offensive brute, maybe I'm loathsome, I don't know, who knows what I am. But yeah, anyway, other guy that I'm going to talk about, I don't know how you're going to feel, and this is going to lead into me talking about another movie. Giancarlo Esposito. I am tired of that motherfucker. He's got to go away.
Yeah.
Have an inch of range to your roles, my guy. Quit being slow talking and menacing quiet man. Quit it with your reservations. Have a role where you explode.
He's about to be the bad guy in the new Captain America too.
I saw, and
shut the fuck up. Is he actually?
Yep. And his face looks the same throughout it all. He doesn't look like he's doing anything different. I'm getting so fucking tired.
So I'll agree with so he's awesome in Breaking Bad.
He is. He's great.
And it's like every person who ever saw Breaking Bad was like, let's get him to be that character in 10 different things. Because I've seen 2 episodes of The Mandalorian, but to my knowledge, he's basically the same character. I have not.
And I would say that he does a really good job in that show. And I think it's probably for me good because that was the next thing I think I really saw him in. And then after that, I quickly realized, oh, he's got one trick.
He's in a video game. If you played Far Cry 6, he's the exact same character as Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
He's in Do the Right Thing as a young man.
He is. And I will say he has a role in that, very brief, in which he is, I think, one of the guys who ends up shooting Malcolm X. Spoiler for those of you that don't know American history. Shoots Malcolm X and he tries to get away, but he gets grabbed and he kind of gets tackled and there's a pileup on him as the people are assaulting him, and you get a shot of his face in the moment. It's a pretty good look on his face of obvious this was a mistake.
Speaking of Do the Right Thing, Reed, do you remember when we took film studies in college together?
Yeah.
And it was the easiest fucking class on the planet because
loved it. Was a guy, Mark Stanfield Johnson, genius.
Yep.
You guys were in that class together?
Yep.
Yeah, we were. We didn't even know until like
we were in it. And then Megan Lutz, I think, turned out to be in the class too.
Yeah, but that was clutch. We watched a couple good movies. We watched Joan. We watched Ikaru. Icaru's fucking awesome.
Icaru's so
But
fucking good. I gotta watch it again.
but Connor took the class too. But I asked him what movies he watched. They got to watch Do the Right Thing.
Nice. And for us, I think it was a listed one we could watch, but we got to skip it because you had to pay for it.
But he had to watch it. I think ours was like here's a selection of 5 movies you can watch, choose one. And we're like, well,
I think I had another course I took as well because I did have the film studies minor, so I had to take another one. And I think in that other one, which it was pretty much the same listing, I think in that one it was you have to watch this one.
Nice. I think it's a good film studies movie.
Yeah, absolutely I do. I think Do the Right Thing is a fantastic movie. I think a lot of movies have tried to emanate it, or at least make people end up making films that naturally emanate it and
emulate.
Nope. And I think it's very fun to watch that. And you get to the point where suddenly you get the big ethical dilemma at the end of do the right thing. Nuts. I think about it a lot. I think about it, I don't know, bi-weekly. Not that that's that much, but life's short, so bi-weekly ought to be enough when thinking about a 90s movie. Yeah. Yeah, and I think a lot about Radio Raheem. I think about Robert Mitchum. Anyway, so let that slide me right on in to the movie Abigail. Allow me to drop some knowledge on y'all. And when I say knowledge, I mean my opinion. So, Abigail 2024, a full cast of B-listers and Giancarlo Esposito in a movie where the crew has no discipline for their skills. In every aspect of this movie, its design is going 60 in a 30. The color grading is too much and uses shades that don't elicit the vibe they're trying for. The score is no better than that of the fourth floor. The sound effects were done by someone with way too much time to lose. With all this in mind, none of these things make it bad. Each of these are that which give it a style and let the audience experience a new film. The concerns fall in 3 areas. Number 1, the dialogue. Inconsistency reeks when it comes to quality. Some characters speak and I feel like never watching another movie, while some characters speak and I love them just for what they have to say. And number 2 is the acting. A few bad eggs are a grand distraction from the great work of the many good eggs. With a full cast of forgettable actors from the last 10 to 15 years, they are all overshadowed by boring and cringeworthy performances by Melissa Barrera and Giancarlo Esposito. Number 3, on importance. All movies have a draw. For comedy, it's the jokes. For drama, it's the movement. For romance, it is the heart. In horror movie, the draw will always be the scare, which exists through the villain. When you create a villain who isn't scary, you create a horror movie with no draw. Now, while I was writing this up, I as Jack had said earlier, when he writes up movies for these things, he has to stop every 5 minutes. I watch with other people, so I don't pause it. I just try to take a note here and there, get what I can, and at the end, make sure everything's all good. Wrote some notes. I had to backtrack. I had some bad things to say about the little girl who plays Abigail. And she still does that same thing where she doesn't create that draw because she's not scary in the end. And she's not scary in the middle or the beginning. But I do want to say that while the villain, played by Alicia Weir, starts off slow, she does become entertaining in time. She puts out a much higher effort as time goes on, but I would not say she compares to the great scares of horror. If A24 makes another mistake like this, I will be concerned for their commitment to telling good stories.
Is this a horror movie?
Yes.
I don't know what this movie is.
I didn't know it existed until I saw it on your Letterboxd.
Gotcha. Abigail, A24, it's a movie in which this team of mercenaries, we'll call them, kind of a tact force of just free agents out there taking up jobs, like a Deadpool type, but not as crazy as some, just people. They go kidnap a little girl from a rich house, put her in this other place. They were hired by Giancarlo Esposito, and he says, you just got to babysit her, through the night, and in the morning it's going to be good. He takes off and leaves, And then lo and behold, they don't get to know any information about each other. They start kind of trying to piece together who they each are. Things go awry when it turns out Abigail is a vampire. And yeah, I really do mean there is not a moment where I felt anxiety for fear or anything. Some of the background actors, a couple of their names I'm not going to remember. I'm not going to pull, but two of the big ones for sure. Angus Cloud, I think this is his last role. He gets an in memory of. He is in the HBO show. I can never remember its name. It's where can't remember her name either. Woman.
Sydney Sweeney.
Yes, thank you.
Zendaya.
That's
It's
the one. Sydney Sweeney. Yeah. Euphoria.
There we go.
Euphoria. He is from that, and he did a good job, which was fun. And then Kevin Durand is in it as well. He is
the Slim Reaper himself.
The Slim Reaper? Is that the basketball player?
Do you say Kevin Durant?
Kevin Durand, I believe is.
Oh, I thought you said Kevin Durant.
No, yeah,
I was like, what?
When I saw his name pop up, I myself was like, is that a typo? Because yeah, every time I see that guy's name, I do think of Kevin Durant, which is odd. And he also is a very tall guy, so it's funny. Both Thunder and Mifflin were tall guys. Mr. Mifflin from The Office, everybody. Wow, what a quote I just got to give. Anyway, Kevin Durand is in X-Men Origins as the big boxer guy. I think he's also, I could be wrong, I think he might be the King in the new 8 movies. Is that, or am I making that up?
Oh, like the one we just saw?
What's the name of that one? I'll look it up.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, I do believe. Wow, this is cool that I could do it. Yep, Kevin Durand. Does fantastic in this one. I liked it. There's a few other of these guys. Let me, I guess, just pull it right on up so I can name drop these fellas. But yeah, the lead of it all, Melissa Barrera, she is in Scrifivum and Scrissixum.
She ain't good in those either.
She was horrible in this. She was very much like you are a ticking time bomb in which when age takes you physically, you will not have a job because clearly
I'm not a fan of her.
Hey, can you run that one? Good. Can you run those two names again?
What names? Of who?
You said Screamism and Screen.
Scrifivum and Scrissixum. Scream 5 and Scream 6.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see. Catherine Newton, if that means anything to anybody. She was also fun to watch. You know her?
She's great. Blonde girl?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen her in some stuff. I like her.
Fellow by the name of Dan Stevens.
Yeah, he's the Beast in Beauty and the Beast.
That's right. Yeah, he was really good in this. He plays a deep American man.
Deeply closeted American man.
Deeply closeted American man.
No, I said I'm deeply
closeted.
Yeah. And I'm looking to see. I've got another guy, and I've just skipped right past his name. I'm just seeing if he's got any credits to anything that we might have known. For those of you listening, thank you for your patience. He's not credited anything. His name is William Catlett, and I hope he gets some more roles. He was born in 1987, so he's still fairly young. I hope he's got plenty of time left on the docket. He was good to watch too. Anyway, all said and done, it was a fun movie to watch, but not at all. Not because it was like one of the like a B horror movie or anything like that. It was a fun movie to watch because within it there were characters who belonged in different movies together. So it was just like you've got some good elements, but unfortunately not the right place or the right time. So Abigail got a 1.5 out of me.
Now, would you be more forgiving to this movie if it was not an A24 pick? But what's the other one? The big
Blumhouse?
Blumhouse, yeah. Or would you still be like, this movie's ass?
I'm gonna say I have never given any consideration to productions. That's not something I ever think about. When I go to a movie, that never pops up for me. I didn't know it was A24 until it popped up right then and there. And I was like, oh, cool. And even in my mind, I don't know what they look like as a company. I only learned for the first time a couple weeks ago, I think from you guys maybe, that they're like, they just like pick up these guys and are like, that's a good one. We'll do that one. And I had no idea about that. I thought they were making the movies and shit. So yeah, I don't, in all honesty, everybody listening, I am a fraud. I don't know shit about anything. No, I actually just don't really know the productions. I think I know Weinstein one, Miramax, because Scream pops up for that one, and Scary Movie too. Other than that, I mean, like
I think you know Paramount because they made
Paramount.
Mission Awesome.
Is it Indian Paintbrush that does the Wes Andersons?
Maybe, yeah, that
Cool
sounds
pull.
right.
Bad Robot, J.J. Abrams, I think.
Yep.
J.J. Abrams. What's the
Um,
Monkey Paw? Is
Monkey Paw,
Jordan Peele.
yeah.
Jordan Peele?
Spielberg is Amity. Is it Amity?
Does he
or-
have his own?
I thought
Hamlet.
so.
Hamlet.
Hamlet, yes.
Yep.
And then Ridley Scott is Scott Free because I just saw
Yeah,
that
Scott
on
Free.
Alien Romulus.
Michael
Scott
Scott
Free-
is great Scott.
What's the Happy Madison? What's
Happy
that?
But even still, though, these ones are still like deeply connected to like a particular celebrity person, whereas these other like just big companies, I have no freaking idea. I don't have a clue. When names pop up, they mean zero to nothing. The only reason A24 means anything is because of Hereditary and Midsommar. After that, I don't remember anything that they've done. I think
Green Knight.
Green Knight, yeah, and don't speak or something like that, or not. Don't speak or
Don't Breathe?
do they do Don't Breathe?
They
No.
do. No, they
No, I'm
don't
not
do
thinking of that
Breathe.
one. No,
It comes at night.
I'm thinking of Talk to Me, where you take the hand one and you see dead people. That was a good movie. I liked that a lot. Maddie hated it because there were some people talking through it. Now we got 20 minutes left. Jack, give me your shlimmy schlang, your schling schlong. Throw it down up upon this desk, my ding dong. Talk about your new movie, the last one on your list.
Oh, I only had two.
You fucking said 3. I said 3 this whole fucking time. I would have.
I know. I was just waiting. I was waiting to
You
drop
are
it.
such a motherfucker. How are you the biggest
But-
fucking heel who ever? You're a villain.
But
You-
I was waiting to think about what I could talk about. I thought I'd bring up as we are currently. Give me a second. I have to. 2
You-
days away on the.
You are the
Is that-
Mr. Peanut. No, I am. You
3
are the BoJack Horseman of my Mr. Peanut Butter, you motherfucker. And that makes
We
no
are
sense.
3. We are 3 days, right? Because August is the 31st, right?
Yeah.
We are 3 days away from, or is it 2? 2 days away from spooky season starting. So September is very close. So I thought I'd ask, what horror movies are you guys looking forward to apart from the Halloween 3 screams?
Halloween.
I like
The
that
best
question, Jack. This
Thank
is
you.
my favorite time of the year,
Good question.
for sure. I would
'Cause-
say the Halloween movies are the ones I'm most looking forward to watching. I always seek out new horror movies every fall. I just don't know what they are yet, but I will be watching some. I remember fondly our Final Destination run, Jack. That was great.
Dude, that was insanity. The fact that we sat down and said we're gonna watch all of these.
Yep.
That was cool. You guys did watch a lot of those that year. It was kind of your thing.
Yep.
I was blessed to hop in for like an hour of one, I think. I don't know if
Reed,
I
you
have
should
any.
watch Splice.
Wait, Splice is the shitty one.
You
Splice
should
is-
not watch Splice.
There's one.
No one
that's-
should ever watch Splice.
There's one that starts with an S that I think on the cover is like a white wall with a guy walking with a bunch of blood he's dragging on the wall behind him. Is that cover-
Sinister.
Sinister?
Sinister,
You guys have
yeah.
said good things about that.
Yeah,
That's-
that one
what's
ruined
the-
my day.
Don't spoil nothing. Don't say a thing about it because I've been
no.
thinking about it for years.
What's the monster in that? It's got a really
No.
funny name.
I just said don't. I just said don't say a thing about it. I have no information. I don't know.
Oogly boogly.
Shut up! No. Well, God damn it!
I will
Movies,
say
I-
one movie I'm excited that I've been thinking about for a while. That because me and Cole saw it as a joke, but Malignant. I haven't seen that since it came out. And Malignant is one of those movies where I remember watching it and being like, this movie fucking sucks. Like, actually,
it.
one of those movies where you're like,
I
I'm
watched
wasting.
that. I watched that with you guys, didn't I?
Wait, yeah, we're like, we're wasting time watching
Yeah.
this movie. And then the third act hits, and you're like, never mind, this was all fucking worth it. Like,
I loved it. I loved it every single time I watched it. The first time I watched it, I did not think this is a bad movie. I definitely had the thoughts to myself of this movie is like, I don't know, it's one of those you'd see would have popped up on the TV in like 2008. Like Ben Affleck was in this scary movie drama at one point. But then as things keep going and you get to the big drop in the third act, I was like, yep, that all adds up. That was all something. That was not nothing. They put a show on for us. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's fun too when the drop happens.
It is such a stark change in the movie that you almost get whiplash from it. Like you lean into it hard. Like I was all in when the third act drop happens. Like, because I was like, holy fuck, they're actually doing something. This is fucking nuts.
Mhm.
Like, James Wan, man, what the fuck are you doing right now? Like, how? But I'm excited to watch that. I believe you said the Halloweens.
Yeah.
The Thing. I'm looking forward to The Thing.
I think we're gonna watch that here pretty soon when we get to John Carpenter week, which I'm excited about. I think that was on the list of them. I hope it was anyway.
There's another one. I watched it last fall. I'm gonna watch it again this year if Cole's with me. But I can't remember the name. Noah, if you pull this from it's Sam Neill, and it's about, I could tell you the plot.
Event Horizon.
No, I do want to watch that though.
Ghost
as much as
Jurassic Park.
No, but it's Sam Neill. It's a John Carpenter movie, and it's about an author who.
Oh, In the Mouth of Madness.
Yes, In the Mouth of Madness, because it is so fucking, it's batshit in such a good way that, and it's got really good fall vibes. So it's kind of like, it's a little bit smarter version of what's his other one with the aliens, where the guy has the sunglasses.
Oh, They Live.
They Live. It's like a smarter They Live. Almost.
They Live rules. I like that.
I know. I fucking love They Live.
Is that Rowdy Roddy Piper?
Yeah.
Yes.
Star of Saints Row 4, the video game.
Keith David. Star of
Keith
Community.
David, star of Saints Row the 4th, the video game. That's right. It's awesome.
I know it's pretty, baby, but I didn't take it out for you to stare at it.
Cool.
That's Keith David in Requiem for a Dream.
Are you talking about Sykes Keith David?
Yeah, that Keith David.
Are you talking about Halo's Keith David?
Are you talking about Sykes Ernie Hudson?
We love Keith David. This is a big Keith David.
This is it, yeah. Halo.
We're big Keith David fans.
Am I wrong for thinking Halo is Keith David's best work?
I mean, it's hard to beat Arbiter.
Seriously,
RB, everyone loves RB.
No, I don't quite think that you get it. Everybody listening, also
I
hates
get
what
it.
I'm talking about. No,
That's an idiot.
No, it's a moron.
Noah, here's the thing. When someone says Keith David, or when they hear the voice, most people think of the Arbiter. Like that, like undeniably is like true.
No, a huge subsection of the population of the world hears Keith David and they go, that guy's an alien.
Mm-hmm.
Noah, let me tell you the history of this. Halo 1 came out. Really awesome. Groundbreaking. Rule ending. It was the next thing. And then they said, how do we follow it up? Halo 2, baby. And they did that. And then they were like, okay, what if we look at the alien's point of view? Who do we get to voice our alien? The Arbiter. Wrote all of this shit out, put it in front of Keith David, and then Keith David was like, all right, I got it. Fucking crushed it. Role of a lifetime. Killed it. It made Marlon Brando look like a human sack of shit. Nobody has come close to the fucking Arbiter, man. I'm telling you.
Noah, if there's one entertainment IP on this planet that I can quote, it's Halo 3. And most of that is Arbiter. Because the fucking one-line zingers that come from the Halo series, fantastic. Noah.
Yeah. I don't like it.
We need Cole to back him up here. We need Cole to.
Yeah. We'll have
Where's
Cole
Cole?
call you privately. Where is the Ranger? Who do you think?
Audio.
Oh my motherfucking Christ on this fucking audio. I see the thing.
So easy.
The thing is, I play with the dongle. We must hurry. The brutes.
Me too.
Yeah, play with the dongle. Noah, you like to play with your dongle?
I like to play with the dongle player. Yeah.
Noah, just walk this back. In Halo 2, they fucking commissioned a rock band to play a song during one of the missions. And it is
Do you know that band?
I do. I saw them live.
Say it.
Right?
Say my name.
Breaking Benjamin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of bands and stuff, I forget already what the movie is. I think it's still finna come out, but I see Blink 182 and MCR are credited in a movie.
Yeah.
Just recently.
It's the new Beetlejuice.
It is. Gotcha.
Dude,
What?
I don't know. This is probably the most excited I've been for a movie. I don't even know how long. Like, I'm really pumped for Beetlejuice.
I am not.
I think trailers lately, there's two big trailers that I think for me are showing the duality of trailers. The Beetlejuice, saw the first trailer. I thought, that's good. I'll go to that. Saw the second trailer. I was like, fuck yes, I'm even more in. There's one coming out. I don't know the name of it. Have you guys been seeing the trailers for the James McAvoy Ireland?
Yes, a shit ton, actually.
Looks really good. The first
Yeah.
trailer, they had a first set of trailer, Jack. Incredible trailer where he and his family, they're just kind of really nice, but there's something a little off. Then they were like, all right, let's show a second trailer. And then they're like, okay, here's everything that you need to know about what's going to happen.
3 minutes long and shows the whole movie. I saw that too. Audio.
How about now? How about fucking now? It's a fucking audio in here. Fuck you, no.
Yeah, it's back now.
Drive up there and strangle you with this fucking bongo.
Hey, I don't know if I said this on the podcast or not. I think I just talked to Connor about it. The Nosferatu trailer they played before Alien Romulus made me want to like shit myself. It was so scary. So I am super looking forward to that.
I don't know if Rapids Theater does trailers anymore, but we did when we walked in for Alien. There was no trailers. We saw they went right into Alien Romulus. Like, I don't know if we showed up at the perfect time, but like we sat down.
Trailers.
They showed trailers when I went to that Blake Lively movie like 3 weeks ago.
They have to show trailers. There's like
me and Cole had to have timed it perfect because we walked in with like 3 minutes to spare, 3 to 5 minutes to spare, and we sat down and it played the Coke ad and we were right into Romulus. So I think we must have just timed it.
You probably just missed the trailers.
That's a baller way to start a movie. They drop a Coke ad at you with a panda bear and then or not a panda. What do they call them bastards? Polar bears. Thanks. I think, for me, movies, I think just Friday the 13th. I have a couple left I got to watch with Maddie and Halloween. And I think I might end up watching 5 of them and Scream 6 because I really like Dewey and Scream 5. And
I'm with you on that. I think the theater here shows like horror movies periodically, like through the next couple of weeks. So, like, I'll try. I didn't end up. They were showing The Exorcist here on Tuesday. I didn't end up going, but like I'll hope to catch a couple of those in theaters. So that'll be cool.
My goal this year is some obscure shit. Like I name things I've never heard of before is my goal this year.
Tuesday, I didn't have time for it, but they were showing, or no, it was last Saturday, I think it was, when Maddie and I last Sunday, Maddie and I were back here hanging out.
Audio.
Back in now. Back in, right?
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, Noah, don't shake your fucking head, you motherfucker. Why don't you put on your fucking Pittsburgh Pirate shirt, you fucking fuck? Fuck you.
Do you actually own that? Do you actually own a Pittsburgh Fuck you. You do not own a Pittsburgh Pirate shirt.
I do own a Pittsburgh Pirate shirt.
Fuck off.
I love it. It's a conversation starter, actually.
It is. I'm making fun of you, but I've lashed out. I really do like it. Anyway, don't have a lot for the horror movies. Do you guys have a horror movie world you'd like to be just dropped in the middle of?
Ooh.
For me, I think it's Friday the 13th Part 2, being in the summer camp with like 16 other people who are just like, yeah, this is chill. Let's do our job, but it's also going to be fun.
It's definitely not like any of the demonic ones because I'm just giving up. You know, like I would probably just end it all. So I think I'd be like Friday the 13th is a good answer for that.
Well, okay. It depends on which demonic ones you're saying, because if it's like the Insidious series or like the fucking what's the other one? What's the
Conjuring?
one? The Conjuring. Those are like based on real life. So technically we do live in that reality.
I'm glad you name dropped those because I was actually about to ask the question. No, if you wanted to say what you would give to something, what were you gonna give?
I was just gonna say, like, if I saw that, like, old woman in black from Insidious, like when I shut my eyes, I don't think I'd be around very long, guys. Like I'm not gonna fight that. I'm gonna lose.
Have I told you all something? Have I told you all that I had what others would call a ghost experience?
No, but I do kind of believe in ghosts, and I didn't used to. So please do.
Jack,
okay.
where do
listen,
you stand on ghosts? We got 6 minutes. Now we're running out of time for. Actually, I don't know what happens when we run out of time. I think we keep going.
Yeah, listen here. It'd be cool if like ghosts and Bigfoots are real. Like I'm not against them, but nothing's I'll start believing once like spooky shit happens to me. But I worked at Glensheen Mansion for many years, and people always said spooky shit happened there, and I not a single time. So
I'm kind of in the same boat where I'm not sure I truly believe, but I've been around people that are so sure that it's kind of convinced me that like I don't think these people are idiots, and they think so.
So Noah, the guy I worked with at Glensheen, one of the higher ups, refused to enter the mansion once it hit dark.
And that's valid.
We had to close it by ourselves because he's like, I've seen too much spooky shit when I've been there.
Yeah.
So let me regale you. First and foremost, Jack, I stan you, bro. I get it. I am right there with you. Ghosts are bullshit. Bigfoot's bullshit. The Loch Ness Monster is real. Things are bullshit like that. I just can't harness the bullshit and spew it. And Noah, to your point, people who talk and tell stories about this, I think they're liars and cheats. I think they're fucking fools, scaredy cats, latching onto anything they can.
I used to be in the same boat you are.
Let me speak my truth, buddy. Let me speak my truth. They're fucking wrong. I know some of the people you're talking about, and they are fools for it. I know them because they say other things that are foolish while they're smart, hard thinkers. They can be foolish. Let me say this now. Something occurred in the basement now. Maddie and I were in bed getting ready to fall asleep. We had already had our right before we fall asleep conversation where we were just talking, goofing around, making jokes, and we'd say our good nights, turn over, we're going to bed. Like 10 minutes pass, dead silence, we're trying to fall asleep. Suddenly, equidistance between our two eardrums, very, very abrupt, clear, and loud and concise, we hear, hey, fucking nuts. We heard it. We sit there in silence, fucking dead silence. No one says anything because I'm thinking Maddie's trying to pull one over on me. That's some shit I do. She's trying to pull one over on me, but it's dead silent. She's not saying anything. I'm like, was that you? She goes, I thought that was you. Immediately, we get up, the lights are on. She's like, I got to go sleep upstairs. Like, I'm coming with you. She's like, at the stairs here. I'm like, you are not going up those stairs. What the fuck just happened in this basement, you motherfucker? And I bring this up now. I haven't thought about it since then because I fucking buried it deep down. Dude, my eyes are fucking wide open. I'm not carrying around a camera. I'm not saying ghosts are everywhere. But 10 fucking feet away from me was a ghost in my fucking eardrum. She stood by me. We were sleeping upstairs for several nights because we couldn't come the fuck back down here. It was so real. It was eerie how real it was. And I didn't say this, and she's going to hear this next Tuesday. I'm going to keep my voice down because she can hear me. I think, 2 nights ago, something happened again. It was very late at night. I had woken up, and I had heard something again. I don't know what the words were that I had heard. I think it was what's going on. And it was like, and I think I went back to bed because I was so tired. I'm upset that things are happening like this because it goes against every single thing.
Yeah. As your best friend of many years, I implore you to run, please. Like, I've seen movies.
As a white man, I say you need to investigate.
I know. And we did investigate. We looked around and shit. Seriously, we checked everywhere out. Sagan was like, I was talking to the cats, and I said, hey, at the cats, and we practiced it. He went to his room where he said it. He said exactly like it. I said, I slept. I went back into my bed. I laid down right where I was. Not even comically incorrect. I'm telling you, imagine right now where both of your ears are in your Zoom calls.
I don't like the screen.
Imagine the head pops in and just says, hey. Fucking crazy, unreal.
I remember once like you guys know me. I'm easily scared by shit. Like I was 20 and Cole Brainerd didn't really like going out yet. So like we stayed home at 420 and watched The Exorcist while you guys all fucked around Duluth. And we didn't know Cole Bauman was like coming to the house at any point. And he just like got to our house and pounded on the door, like with maybe 10 minutes left in that movie. I leapt from my seat. Like I was ready to like fight or flight from that. So yeah, I'm nervous right now, honestly.
I don't know. I used to fall asleep watching Ghost Adventures, so like I'm like
and
read audio.
Dude,
you good now? You got.
And seriously, no, scary movies don't bother me. I fall asleep scary movies all the time. I love scary movies because I feel nothing at them. They get nothing from me at all. I'm unfazed and unaltered. I'm unchanged. I will die going into the grave thinking nobody has ever got me with a scary movie, for real, for real. And then, lo and behold, suddenly in real life, just a guy decided to pop up and be like, hey, not cool. Bullshit.
I don't like this. I don't like this
Speaking
at
of
all.
stuff, my mom brought speaking of ghosts, while we talk about this. So 1016? Reed, you know of it. You know it because your sister lives there now.
Yeah.
I've been there once or twice. Yeah.
My mom swore that we had a ghost that lived in that house. That things would walk around the
That
main
was
level.
just me.
That's what I said. It's just Noah. But apparently she talked to your sister, and your sister said the same thing.
Well, some people are cowards.
That's what I was like. I was like,
yes.
there's not a single damn time that there was ever a ghost in that house.
And I don't want to be that guy to anybody listening. I don't want to be such an asshole. And this is going to make me an asshole. If you believe in ghosts out there, you're fucking wrong to believe in ghosts. In my life, though,
Well,
I really had that happen. And I don't believe anyone else ever has. That's how I'm an asshole.
like I said, it'd be cool if Bigfoot was real, but I have yet to see one.
I take it. Yeah.
I'd be like, that's neat. If they found, well, the Loch Ness Monster's real. Everyone agrees on that one.
Yeah. All right. We
But
better wrap
ghosts.
this up. Otherwise, this is going to be the longest episode ever made. It already is the longest episode I think we have. Anyway.
We are a ghost podcast now.
We are a ghost podcast now. Welcome to the Ghost Podcast. Ghost, the motion ghost picture. Okay. Have a good night, everybody. Go to Mini Movies on YouTube. Check out, Fats and Harry, something I guess we'll talk about next week. But Fats and Harry, big deal. We're going to go present it over at the Catalyst Film Festival. And remember, Mini Movies, tell your friends about us. Podcast, the motion picture. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye-bye.